295 years ago, Bienville planted his flag on this rich piece of soil that is now our home. From that day, New Orleans has grown to become an international capital, ruled under the flags of France, Spain, and now under the great flag of the United States of America. Since our very early beginnings, we were a mecca for diverse peoples who put down their roots and created a deep, unique, and authentic culture. This is the city that we cling to so tightly, and it is the one that we love so dearly. Over the last 295 years, we have suffered tragedy, and we have celebrated triumph. Now, together, we are going forward. Forward towards 2018. Forward towards our 300th anniversary. Everywhere you look, progress is being made. The people of New Orleans have found a way to win, and you know something? We like it. After decades of decline, New Orleans is now one of the fastest growing cities in America, 9,000 residents last year alone. Our economy is strong. Our home values are up, our regional unemployment rate is down, and it is well below the national average. We're putting people back to work. We're creating jobs. And you know what? We're getting smarter. Our schools are improving rapidly. Our test scores are up, our dropout rates are down, and our graduation rates are now better than Baton Rouge, better than Shreveport, and better than the entire state as a whole. And I want to give another big shout out to all the students who are here, especially those from Craig and St. Peter Claver. That's our future. Give them a round of applause, please. And get this, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation says we're getting healthier. Now, I feel like we deserve a little extra credit for this, because in this city, it can be hard to put down a knife and fork and back up off your fried oyster po' boy, or your crawfish bread, or your mango freeze. And guess what? We're getting cooler. Everybody has started to realize what we have always known, that New Orleans is the coolest city in America, with 9 million visitors per year streaming into this very unique place. And you want to know who really won the Super Bowl this year? New Orleans did. In fact, many said that we were one of the best host cities in Super Bowl history. And ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing, we can do it in the dark with the lights off. Y'all saw that coming. I want to take a minute to thank all of the city departments: New Orleans Police Department, Fire, EMS, Public Works, Sanitation, Safety and Permits, Park and Parkways, along with all of our local, state, and federal business partners, our city council, the thousands of volunteers, the host committee, and of course, Mr. Benson and the Saints. We could not have done it without all of you guys, so give yourselves a round of applause. So here's the thing, we don't flinch. Whether we're on the world stage for the Super Bowl or facing down a storm like Hurricane Isaac. Isaac was a big test. The eyes of the nation were upon us, but the levees held and we all passed. Now, in order for us to keep winning, this is now our new challenge. We must keep what is good and we must get rid of what is bad. And this is just what we are doing. City Hall wasn't creating jobs, so we launched a public-private partnership called NOLA Business Alliance. The result? 4,000 new jobs, and world-class companies like General Electric are relocating here. You asked for more places to shop and to eat. Now there is a retail and restaurant boom going on in your city. There are 80 new projects getting off the ground as we speak. Walmart's in Gentilly, and in the east, a new mid-city market on Carrollton, Whole Foods on Broad Street, Costco at the end of Washington, Algiers Plaza on General de Gaulle Drive, just to name a few. Local small businesses said they needed more capital and they needed more funding and training. So we brought together the Urban League, Delgado, and the Hope Enterprise Corporation to partner with another major company, Goldman Sachs, for the 10,000 Small Business Initiative. The result? $20 million to help our local small businesses learn, grow, compete, and create jobs. Now 128 businesses are on an exciting new path that I call the pathway to prosperity. Take Colmex Construction, where Angelica Rivera and her husband, Roman Lopez, are newly registered DBEs. and one of our 10,000 small businesses. Now Comex is growing fast, doubling their staff from 6 to 15 employees. Elite Property Management owner Paul Irons is a former tight end with the Cleveland Browns, but we didn't hold that against him. He was born and bred in New Orleans, and since joining our 10,000 small businesses, his revenues are up 40%. And there are many, many more. With our help, Demolition Diva is taking blight down to dirt. Teresa Lawrence at Delta Personnel has increased her sales by $1 million, and Erin Rio Pelias at Zucca Baby has doubled her revenues. On top of that, we have just launched our second round of Small Business Assistance Loan Program. 9 businesses have already received over $600,000 in loans, and that is access to new capital. What's the result? Loan recipients like Derek Tabb, director of Roots of Music, member of the Rebirth Band, and a businessman can now expand. Derek's going to use these funds to finish his Treme recording studio. Ladies and gentlemen, our economy is humming. But to be happy and healthy, everybody in New Orleans needs to have easy access to fresh food. So we have leveraged $14 million in the innovative Fresh Food Retailer Initiative that aims to bring groceries to every part of the city. And here is the great story. Circle Foods in the 7th Ward, ladies and gentlemen, is back, and this is a big deal. That's exactly. When it opened in the 1930s, Circle Foods was the first African-American-owned grocery store in New Orleans. And it was more than just a place to make your groceries. It's where you went with your mama to get your back-to-school uniforms, your five green peppers for $1, your Easter candy, your pickled meat or your hot sausage for your red beans on Monday or your fresh fish on Friday. Right, Cynthia? And you could get it all right there. Now, with the help of the Fresh Food Retailer Initiative, Mr. Dwayne Boudreau, longtime owner and operator of Circle Foods, will be back in business by Thanksgiving. And I also want you to consider another great story on Jackson Avenue, where Doug Carrick opened the Fresh Seafood. Altogether, Dwayne, Doug, and the other beneficiaries of the Fresh Food Retailer Initiative will have created over 150 new jobs. Entrepreneurs like Dwayne and Doug are engines for the economy of our future. Indeed, the number of startups in New Orleans has doubled in recent years and is now far above the national average. And it's just unbelievable, because right across town, at the Idea Village, they have provided direct support to nearly 2,000 local entrepreneurs like Matt Wisdom at Turbo Squid. Is it a wonder that the Wall Street Journal has now ranked New Orleans #1 for the most improved city for business? Forbes magazine says that New Orleans is America's biggest brain magnet, and the Brookings Institute rated New Orleans #1 in economic recovery. Earlier this month, Bloomberg News said we are one of the top American boom towns, and last week the National Journal called us the Cajun comeback. How about that? They missed it by a couple of miles, but that's okay. This is a remarkable turnaround. In many instances, we've gone from worst to first in just 3 years. But this economic renaissance won't mean much unless everybody is involved. For years, City Hall's procurement process was in disarray, so with the stroke of a pen and a lot of hard work, we leveled the playing field. We increased the number of DBEs by over 70%. Now we award contracts based on what you know, not who you know. And guess what? Everybody gets a fair shake. We have strong DEB requirements for billions of dollars hitting the ground, not just with the city, but also the airport, the Sewage and Water Board, and the RTA. And others are following our lead. The Recovery School District has modeled their DBE program after ours. Furthermore, when Costco came to town, we insisted that locals and DBEs make up 35% of their construction contracts, and guess what? They agreed. And at our urging, thank you, Essence, Super Bowl, and NBA All-Star Weekend all committed to contract with local firms. Local firms like Don Harding's Cool Fruit Sensations. Don's been serving at small festivals until he discovered our program. He became a DBE, and business started to boom. Now Don serves at the French Quarter Festival, he serves at the Convention Center, and he even served at the Super Bowl. All those entrepreneurs, business people who participated in 10,000 Small Business Initiative, the Fresh Food Retailer Initiative, and joined our DBE program, would you please stand up so that everybody can see you and you can be recognized? I've always said that the people of New Orleans will be the ones who rebuild New Orleans. These business leaders and residents count on City Hall to be efficient and attentive to their needs. Unfortunately, customer service at City Hall wasn't always so friendly. Now, NOLA 311 is up and running, fielding over 200,000 citizen calls in our first year. And at the new City Hall welcome desk, Miss Loretta and Miss Freddie will help you get what you need, and they'll do it with a big smile. Her entire career, Council President Jackie Clarkson has worked to set up one-stop shop for permitting at City Hall. And by working together with Jackie and the entire council, we actually made this happen. And the one-stop shop on the 7th floor of City Hall is now blowing and going with permit process times cut in half. Now just ask the home builders and the construction companies who visited our new one-stop shop. They almost stroked out. One stop, one place for all of their business needs. Thank all of you guys for doing such business in our city, and many thanks to the city employees and for the council members for making this happen. Thank you so much. So we're changing it up, and we're winning, reforming every aspect of City Hall, from customer service to taxi cabs. Now, when we came into office, the taxi cabs were old. They were broken, and the Taxi Cab Bureau was not working well. So we worked closely with Councilmember Palmer, the rest of the council, the hospitality industry, cab drivers, the entire community to completely reorganize how we regulate taxi cabs so that we could have clean and safe transportation for our residents and for our visitors. Now, drivers who for years had been under the thumb of a few company owners are now free to be their own small businesses and will be able to build generational wealth for their families. A great example is with us today, Mr. Sam Porter. Been driving a taxi cab since 1965 when I was a wee boy, 5 years old. 1966, he applied for his first CPNC. Now, 47 years later, this administration finally got him and 75 others their own CPNCs. Sam has a brand new cab, and it's got his name on the brand new permit. He now works for himself, for his family's future, and for the people of New Orleans. Mr. Sam, will you please stand up? And all the taxi cab drivers, thank you very much for being great ambassadors for the city of New Orleans. Thank you guys. Mr. Sam, thank you.